Hello and welcome to the Roundtable Podcast. I am Shogun. Joining to me is a talking snake and my good friend OpenEyeProject for his 7th podcast, which I think is a new record. And I'm very much looking forward to this, but make sure you join us on the Roundtable Discord server. You can find links to our new video podcast, of which this is the second. That's a brand new YouTube channel. You can also find our existing audio podcasts on YouTube and BitChute. We have hundreds of awesome episodes in the hashtag RT Podcast channel on the Roundtable Discord server. That being said, welcome, my handsome Cobra friend, OpenEye. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
It is a pleasure to have you with me. I think this should be the beginning of a new series of interviews with my snake friend, OpenEyeProject. So, OpenEyeProject, for those of us who have not had the pleasure of meeting you before in the audience, do you want to give people a brief rundown of what you've been working on, what the OpenEyeProject is, and what your current situation is as a Cobra at large?
Yeah. Well, 14 years ago, I found out about my mother. She was born on the 27th. She died on the 27th, and she was 27 years old when she died. And she died in the 7th month, 27 of 67. And that's when I woke up. I called my aunt. I was looking at my baby book, and I called my aunt. I said, man, I got to find out what's her birthday, what day she was born. And I called my aunt, and she told me, I said, man, if she ain't born on the 27th, I'm gonna be angry or whatever. And I called my aunt, and she said that she was born on the 27th, and it was like, oh my God. I mean, someone made this happen, you know. And I was actually 43 years old when I found out. I was about to hit 44 years old, and 43 is a 7. And when I woke up, I started to sense spirits. You know, my radar turned on, you know. It's kind of like my radar turned on, and I could sense them. They were watching me, and it was all at once. Some of them started talking to me. It says, look, we're so glad you're waking up and that you're going to be our messenger. And they said that we're not going to tell you what's going on. You're going to have to see for yourself. So that's when I started doing stuff on seeing in visible dimensions, you know, and all this scientific research I've been doing, you know, with crystals. I did research with that. I pointed my head toward north, and I put crystals around me. And I caught a radio station, and I pointed I got a compass, and I, did everything scientifically stuff, like I do. And that was one of the things that would really freak me out, man. I caught a radio station in my brain, you know. And but there's a lot of other stuff. I did remote viewing. I looked through my eyelids, try to see through my eyelids, and that activates the third eye. Another thing is you could try to look through physical objects to try to see through them, you know. I did a lot of research on invisible dimension stuff, you know. And I got a breakthrough. I could see them in the trees. Like right now, I'm by an apple orchard. And one time I camped out by the apple orchard, and they were talking about the golden apple. But no one could see the golden apple, you know. Only certain people. Like, you know, it's like King Arthur. Arthur was the only one that could take the sword out the stone. No one else could. So it was kind of like that. That's how I am. I'm kind of like King Arthur. And the Merlin, I'm kind of like Merlin and King Arthur at the same time, because I do studies on elements like cotton, garlic, you know, the garlic bath to bring your body back to life. Cotton is a fire element. And I was talking to some cotton spirits, and they said that the human race has forgotten about all the elements, you know, what elements do and stuff like that. And the knowledge has been lost because we've been redone. We lost the war long ago, and they made this planet a slave planet. These are the things I found out, you know, after I woke up, you know, and I could see spirits in the clouds. I could see them in the stars. This metrics the spirits, when they come out the stars and they're fighting over the stars, like if they get up in the star, I don't know if they're trying to protect it or steal the powers from the stars or what, but they're always knocking these spirits down out of the stars, and they're fighting to get up there. But the problem is, Earth is so evil. They have some crazy ass people on Earth that's murdering and killing people, over religion and stuff, and over the war of the right hand and the left hand. That's another thing. These people are brainwashed, believing the left hand's bad, so they want to kill them, put them in prison. But actually, the right hand is the left hand, and the left hand's the right hand. Everything's opposite of everything. Whatever's up is down, and down is up. I mean, it's kind of crazy dimension that I'm seeing, and it's like the Metrics too, like the movie Metrics. Even Pitch Black, the movie Pitch Black, I could see at night. I got night vision, like that movie, Van Diesel. Yeah. And the thing is, I turned it on. I went in the country and I said, you know what? I'm going to turn on my night vision. I spoke it out loud. I thought it in my mind, and I went out there. I didn't use no lighting, no campfires, and I turned it on, and it actually worked. All at once, I could start seeing particles in the air, in the walls, in the ceilings. I could see through walls, too, and ceilings, too. So I could see through mirrors, too. One time I was doing research on mirrors. See, I did a lot of research on different things, like mirrors, and this is one of them I did. Reflection of a car. If you look at a reflection of cars in the parking lot, it's like a mirror effect. You could see them. Now, everybody has been told, if you look in the mirror, you can't see vampires, or the invisible dimension. That's completely wrong. Actually, you can. You could see them better. And like looking through a cell phone, too. You could see, if you take a photograph of a spirit or take a photograph of the sky, sometimes you could see these alien spaceships, that you didn't see with your eyes. And the camera on a cell phone is like a third eye, too. So there's a lot of research I've been doing. And the moon is evil. The aliens live on there. That's the moon it's like the Death Star on Star Wars, and just like the dark side, like the Jedi, that's a true thing. Humans used to be the Jedi people. Use the Force. Remember how the movie? Luke, use the Force, Everybody should be told, that's what I should be telling everybody, the same thing, just like on the Jedi thing. Use your Force. Build your powers up, The thing is, that's why I'm doing the OpenEyeProject, is I'm trying to teach people how to look through the veil, how to see through the veil. There's so much scientific research I've worked on. I mean, so that's, so you have any questions, Shogun?
I have a lot of questions, but that was amazing material. Thank you very much. I enjoyed that. So let's start by getting into the moon, because I know that the moon is a big thing that you're interested in. I'm interested in as well. So you said the moon is evil. I know you believe that, and you're not the only one. David Icke thinks that too. They talk about the Saturn moon matrix. And also you talk about Saturn, but you think Saturn is the good guy, right? And you have an expression where you say Saturn's going to arrive too late. Isn't that something you say?
Yeah, well, I did some research on Michael Nostradamus. They changed his name. They use that U.S. to make it mysterious, but I don't think no one should change anybody's name. So I read the last part of his book. I said, you know what? I've been doing stuff on my own, and I really believe that this guy knows or gonna, say something to help me, or give me some kind of confidence or whatever. So I started reading the book backwards, and I finally got to this part where it said, "Someone is gonna die on the day of their birth." That's my mother. She was born on the 27th, and she died on the 27th. So I said, "Oh crap! I couldn't believe I found that." I said, "Oh my God, you got to be kidding me!" And then I said, okay, well, I said to myself, I said, okay, now you need to read after that. Everything that, it's going to tell me everything. So what he said was, I'm going to break it down. And I'm the first human or the son of man to even tell anybody what it really means, the last prophecies of Notre Dame, Nostradamus, whatever. He said that to burn, 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 that only 70 of us are going to survive, and that Saturn's going to come too late. That was the four things, my mother's death part. And so I started burning. I was burning before, and I said, darn, I'm so glad he said that, because I was already burning these spirits, the spirit world, just burning their asses up. Spiritual fire. And the thing is, when I ran into Georgia, Highway 27, one thing's weird about this. Right when I found out about my mother, this dude shows up in the Catholic Church, and his eyes are glowing like blue. And his hand shivered, and it was like I thought he was a spirit. And he actually shook my hand, and he put some stuff in he actually attacked me or whatever. He put spirits in my right hand or whatever. And he said he was talking telepathy, and this is Highway 27 I went to, Georgia, Rome, Georgia. He told me to go to Rome. He told me a secret name, and he said, go to Rome. And he said, she don't know who I am. And it's like, after I thought about it, I said, hell, I don't even know who the hell you are neither. Because he was acting like he was an angel or something, or he was acting like the J dude, And I found out he almost got me killed, because when I went up there were devil worshippers in Georgia I ran into, and these people burnt up like human spontaneous combustion. They tried to put a curse on me, and so, but I got off the subject about the moon. Oh no, we was talking about the other stuff.
Yeah. It's okay. We're going to get into all of it, but I want you to tell me, what do you think Saturn means? And I think you think Saturn is coming, right? Saturn is coming to Earth. Isn't that correct? Because you say Saturn is going to come too late. So first of all, why is Saturn coming? What is it supposed to do? And why is it coming too late?
All right, I'm going to give you an example. In the center of our galaxy is the host. It's the spirit. I was looking at Andromeda. I actually posted Andromeda galaxy, because we could actually take a real photograph of it. And I was looking at Andromeda galaxy, and there's a spirit inside of this giant galaxy, and there's a whole bunch of spirits in there, a spirit world. And what it is whoever these aliens, when they came in on outside of the galaxy to invade, the Milky Way, they came in where the sun was, and then they went past that, and they I don't know what they did to Mercury, because I don't have no proof on that. But Venus, they turned Venus upside down. You can see this giant bulge, and it's only spinning. Let's see, 200. It takes 280 something days. I don't know the exact number to rotate one time. That's how many days it takes. I mean, it's like a slow burn. And I saw this big bulge, and I said, damn, that's some kind of fucking alien technology that ran into Venus, flipped it upside down, and pushed it toward the sun to burn all the inhabitants on Venus. Because, see, they got photographs of buildings on Venus. They used to have people living on Venus. And then you could see what happened to Mars, and then you could see what happened to the asteroid belt. That used to be a planet. They blew it up. Boom, the war. And the other day I was looking at a plane. I said, look, there's a World War I plane. I was telling everybody, around there where I was. And a spirit said, I was looking at this spirit. He laughed at me. He said, no, there's actually been 28 world wars. So that's not counting the First World War and the Second World War. you know. And so there's been 28 world wars on Earth fighting over this planet. And all that history has been wiped away. No one knows, you know? So, I mean, what I do is I watch 1% of the spirits talk, like in the trees, they're talking about stuff, you know, or in the stars, they're talking about stuff. I saw on Orion's belt that some spirits were on Orion's belt where it's at. They're drinking 3 cups. They got 3 cups up there. And I could see these dudes drinking out the cup. You know, you could see it turning upside down and they're drinking it. And I was watching that, and that's the first time I've ever seen that because I really never watched Orion's belt, you know, with my physical eyes and stuff. So, and the stars are alive, though. All the stars are alive. They're living beings. Even the planet is alive, you know. If you
All right, so let me ask you another question. While we're on the subject of the bodies in space, let's go back to the moon for a second. So you told me that one of the main antagonists or sort of enemies that you have is a 100,000-year-old evil sorcerer who lives on the moon. Can you tell us about that person? Do you know his name? How has he been affecting you?
Well, I can't really say how old he is. I just shot that number out there. You know, he could be 1 billion years old because some of these alien entities, they live forever. But the sorcerer that's on the moon, that moon used to be a planet. It was completely destroyed in a war like 1 billion years ago, maybe 1 million years ago. I don't know how long ago. And then they turned it into a spaceship. So it could leave anytime it wants. I started fighting against these entities or whatever, and you know, burning them up. And I found out the moons came back. The moons were coming back to life. I mean, even this person named Universe, I don't know what they did to this dude. They got a spirit named Universe, and they got a spirit named Heaven, and all that stuff. I mean, it's kind of weird. And I'm the one that brought him back to life. And then one spirit is saying, hey, Universe, you better go fight. You know, they were talking about go fight me. And I'm the one that fucking brought him back to life, you know? And so what's going on, these spirit world people are taking credit for what I'm doing. And they're reversing it, saying I'm the bad guy and they're the good guy kind of thing, you know? So the sorcerer's involved. They got these people in my van that they're watching everything I wear. They're watching everything I do. They're trying to find out my secrets because I have some secrets that I do. You know, like the burn ritual stuff. They watching everything I do, you know? And one day the moon's going to leave, and I'm going to be so glad, unless they're going to have a treaty and they're going to say, well, y'all going to have to leave this moon here, and we're going to have to bring it away from the earth because this moon is actually making a lot of volcanoes, tidal waves, you know, earthquakes, all that stuff, because it keeps on pulling on the earth. You know, it's almost big as our planet. You know how big the moon is? It's freaking gigantic. That's too big of a moon to be around our planet. It's way too big. And it's alien, too. You know?
Yeah, it is very strange, and I think it may be artificially placed there, tidally locked, geosynchronously tidal locked with us, exactly the right position to both stabilize our tidal process, but also create the phenomenon of the full solar eclipse as viewed from Earth. So essentially impossible that it's a coincidence. Has to be somehow intelligently done, probably by God, maybe by aliens, maybe both.
they got the Eye of Ra. I think it's called the Eye of Ra. It's a big giant planet. It's called different names. It could be called the Black Sun because it's big as our sun. This planet is big as our sun, and it's right next to the Earth, very close. And it instead of rotating, it spins. In 2016, they had stereo A and stereo B as satellites. They're on the other side of the sun, and they're filming, whatever's around the Earth, and all at once this big giant thing, planet just appeared, and I saw a big giant planet like Jupiter go inside of it, and once it went inside of it, all at once it went invisible. So this is alien technology. How in the hell they're going to have a cloaking device on something that big, and it rolls? It's like a queen on a chess game. It rolls. It doesn't rotate, and it had clouds around it too. I saw clouds around the darn thing. So, and I think that could be the Eye of Ra or the Dark Star, or they got different names. The Dark Sun, because I was listening one time and they said they got different suns out there, and they they got two other suns out there. One time I was filming, I noticed I was where was I? I forgot which state was I. Well, maybe that doesn't matter. I saw 3 suns. I saw the big sun, and I saw 2 other suns. And I told some nurses, I was in a parking lot where some nurses was, where a hospital was, and I was under the shade so I could see it real good because the glare of the sun wasn't blinding me or whatever. And you could see the rainbow colors right where it was. Where these 2 suns were. And they already have evidence of sun. I think some people already have videos of the 2 suns besides our one sun, but they look small. I don't know if it's far away or what, or they're just small little suns, It could be that's way out there that's trying to give life to the sun gives the earth life, with plants, it grows and stuff. They might have planets around them other suns. But the thing is, NASA's not gonna. They ain't said nothing about these 2 other suns. I think Nostradamus said something about the 2 other suns or the other sun. I don't know what the heck. I forgot. I don't know. I have to go back and read it. He gave a prophecy of that, I think. Yeah, it's getting dark. Can you see my snake, Harley?
I can still see you, yeah.
Yeah. It's I need to probably click my thing. There you go. Get more light. Hold up, let's see what happens. But there's so much research. All the conspiracy theories that's out there are all real, except the flat Earth thing. Okay, even that Snow dude, the CIA dude that worked for Snow. His name is Snow. Something
Snowden. You're talking about Snowden.
Yeah, Snowden. Yeah, he knew some stuff about the analog. Since I could go ahead and go public on it now. The analog TV, when they switched it over like 20 years ago from a regular antenna bull junk or whatever it was to analog, they could see you on your camera, on your video. No, like if you have a cell phone, computer, or TV, they could see you and listen to you and listen to everything you say. Yeah. I've been knowing that, but I kept it secret because I was worried about them, they might come after me, And he got out of town. He went all the way to Russia, I think, to save his life, But I've been knowing about that. I just didn't say nothing because I knew it would put me in danger. And another thing is, I called the FBI and I informed them how many bad demons they have per square mile in cities and stuff. And I told them they were gonna have to evacuate cities and burn the cities up and shit.
So what did
And
the FBI, can you tell us what the FBI said and how the conversation went when you called to tell them about the demons?
oh, I went to them. I actually went to FBI office and I talked to two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we sat in this room, and I know they were tape recording me and videoing me, and they actually seen my armor. I like had armor on me. I took these rugs, like I found some kind of rug thing, and I wrapped it around my legs and shit, so them damn spirits wouldn't hurt me and all that stuff that bad. And he actually said that he saw me wearing that, and it's like, oh shit, you've been watching me then, huh? See what I'm saying? He was watching me.
So get this, see if I understand. So you at some point made a suit of armor to defend yourself from demons, and then you went wearing an armor made out of carpets to talk to the FBI and tell the FBI that there were so many demons in the city that they would need to destroy and burn the city. Is that what happened?
Yeah, but the thing is, I didn't wear that in when I went to talk to him, but he said he saw me. That means they were already investigating me. They were watching me already.
Right. I believe you. I know that they do that.
He saw that I had my armor on, you know.
Right. Wow. So what did they say when you told them about the demons?
Well,
how did they react?
When he told me that, I said, well, damn, you must be watching me, huh?
But how did they react? Like, what did he say when you told them about the demons?
Well, when I looked at him, he looked like he was about to die. He had black eyes around his eyeballs and shit. And I said, look, I study vampirism. I study psychiatry. I'm like a remote viewer. I could do profiling for the FBI. And I said, look, I got to be your advisors. I got to work for y'all one day, And I told him, I said, look, some spirit is draining you dry. I study vampirism. And he looked at me and says, oh, man, I just haven't been getting no sleep and stuff. That's why I'm looking this way. I said, no, something's attacking you at your house, okay? I pretty much fucking told him. And I told him about remote viewing the CIA, the 3 visions I had. I saw the atom bomb the first time. Then I saw the alien in like Area 51. And then I saw the Looking Glass Project and stuff like that. And he told me, well, we got to go to the judge and get a court order to, remote view people. And I kind of laughed at him. I said, yeah, you think I got to go get a damn court order to go do that, So
are you saying that the FBI guy told you that you needed to do some kind of documentation before you could remote view?
No, they do. The FBI and CIA's got to get a judge court order to remote view people. And I pretty much laughed at him. I said, you got to be kidding me, man.
But that's actually super interesting and funny, and it makes sense because it is intelligence gathering, it's surveillance, right? So if you're going to do surveillance on people, you would need a warrant. That's quite humorous, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it did make sense, and I don't think he was lying, but I'm saying, but the thing is, that law, no one knows about that law. You understand?
I've never heard of that before. That's a great conspiracy trivia right there. You need a warrant to remote view. Funny. I believe it.
Yeah.
They use that shit to find dead bodies. It's totally real.
Well, the funny thing is, I told him some secret stuff, and then he told me some secret stuff.
Well, do you want to tell us some secret stuff?
Oh, I know a lot of secret stuff. I mean, well, what they're doing is they're sawing mankind. They're going in your houses. One time, I was leaving Salt Lake City, and I called the FBI. I says, look, man, they're freaking, I was on my motorbike, and I could see really good and shit. I said, look, dude, these fucking bad spirits, they're pulling the human spirits out of people's bodies in their homes, and I'm getting the hell out of here, man. I saw this big wall, and some spirit had a wall of spirit, and he said, I made my own army and shit, and he just started killing everybody and stuff, and they were pulling people out of their homes, and I started hauling ass to Vegas that way, and when I got to Vegas, I saw freaking 10 I think it was 10 F-16 fighter jets flying right over freaking Vegas in a line, dude. Wham, wham, man. And I thought I was filming this shit. And you could see I could see the particle colliders. The nose was shooting out these particles like lasers or whatever, and it was shooting these damn spirits. That they were after me, I guess. They were following behind me. And then look, dude, there was 10 of them. And they were flying all over Vegas and shit. And I thought I got the evidence, and I looked on the damn phone. I said, damn, I didn't press record. And I said, shit. I was so pissed off because I would have had the proof, And then I met a motorbike dude, and I told him what I saw. He said, oh, yeah, them F-16s are from Area 51. He's a pilot. He's an Air Force pilot. He was riding a Harley Davidson, and he had like a military thing. And I told him, like Air Force or whatever. And he flies jets and stuff. And he told me, oh yeah, them jets, they came out of Area 51, dude. That's the ones that got them particle colliders and shit. And they were knocking them spirits down, dude. They were fighting them spirit world people. And I called the FBI on another one. The full moon, I was driving to, California, Los Angeles. And it was a full moon. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning. All at once, this big cigar spaceship pulls right in front of it. And it starts putting out this gas. Full moon, no clouds. Starts putting out this gas. Within 3 seconds, you couldn't see the moon. And I called the FBI and told them, and I could tell the fear in the dude's voice. He said, like he was scared. He knew I was telling the truth. He was scared shitless when I told him that. And he told me, he says, well, you need to go call NASA and tell them about that because that's outer space stuff, And I called him back and said, look, you son of a gun, I'm not your errand boy. You freaking call NASA. I got angry, man. I said,
so give us a little more detail about this UFO sighting where you saw the giant cigar UFO. How did that go down?
Oh, yeah, the spirits started freaking out, man. I mean, all that gas was poison. I mean, there's a spiritual war going on the moon. I heard one spirit that was from on the earth. He said, we took over the moon 1,000 times. And the thing is, when I was watching it, they said something about that, get away from the moon. They're poisoning us. That's poison gas and stuff, And I told the FBI, I said, dude, that was poison gas that was coming down, and it was coming down on the earth too.
So the poison gas was coming down on the Earth from the ship or from the moon?
Yeah, from the ship.
So the cigar-shaped UFO is poisoning the Earth with gas or dropping poison gas.
Well, it was all around the moon, though. And see, the moon is so close. See, in science, the moon is so close, it's only 1 second away, 1.3 seconds away of the speed of light. It only takes 1 second for something to come down from the moon. 1 second, man. I mean, in science, if you study the planets and all that stuff, that's not far away at all. I mean, I could piss on. If I was on top of the moon, I could probably piss on top of the Earth.
So you think the moon is very close? And you said to
Yeah,
me today the stars are very close too. So do you believe there's like a dome, like a closed dome, like where the sky, the sun, and the moon are inside the dome?
yeah. Well, I actually saw a spirit walking on top of, like, upside down. He was on the firmament of the dome, and he's walking upside down. And I saw him open the door. He took a key, and he opened the door, and he went up above the firmament. They got like doorways up there. I actually saw that one time too. I was like, what the heck? And the dude looked like he was walking upside down or something, pretty much.
So uh, tell me a little bit more about. I still didn't quite understand. I just find the expression so poetic. Saturn's going to arrive too late, and I know I asked already, but I still don't really understand. Right? So is Saturn supposed to come and save us?
Yeah. Well, you got to understand, okay, when the aliens came, they came where the sun is. So the arm of our galaxy, where the Earth is, and our sun is on the outside of the Milky Way. It's one of the arms. It's like the boondocks. So when aliens came, they came, I think they came from outside the galaxy, maybe, because they're afraid of the big giant spirits of the galaxy, like the Andromeda. Uh, I looked at that photograph and I blew it up, you know, made it real big, and I could see the spirit. There was a spirit inside the center of Andromeda. Okay, and it's private. And Andromeda is way different than Milky Way. The Milky Way is smaller than Andromeda, but it's very unique. The way it's spinning, it looks like, I don't know. I can't explain what it looks like. Um, it's hard to explain how the Milky Way looks like the way it's spinning. It's different. It might be smaller than Andromeda, but it doesn't. Just because something's small doesn't mean it's weaker. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, what is the okay? So, I want to ask you. This is a complete change of topic, but this is something we haven't talked about before on the podcast, but you and I have talked about in other times. So, you identify that there are some creatures made by God called monsters, and monsters are essentially monsters, but they're monsters, uh, and they're also dinosaurs. So, dinosaurs are monsters. Is that correct?
Yeah. You have the monsters, but they got human monsters. You have half human, half dinosaur, half uh, and it's in the spirit world. They're still alive. But the bad thing, what they did was they covered up all the giant humans when they killed them long ago. I don't know if it was 65 billion years ago or if that was the right date, but all these spirits turned into stone. But the moon are the demon people. Uh, Now, because one dude threw spirits over me one time from the moon. He was like really big, and he could do what I could do. I throw spirits off out of my van and stuff, or underneath my van. I throw them out, and he threw these spirits right over me, and they were red demons, and they were like bald-headed egg people, looked like reptilians. Because I know they were reptilians because the tongue came out of his mouth and swallowed this big. It would look like a dragon. Um, Whatever was around them demons on the ridge of that mountain started flying. I could hear it go woof, like big wings, Woof. I got off my bike and I looked around to see what it was that he threw off the moon because I wanted to see. And in the city, I saw them bald headed ones, and one of them looked up and grabbed that. After the third sound, he was looking up at that thing, and his tongue came out of his mouth and pulled it inside of his mouth, and he started eating it. He ate the darn thing, and I said, "Holy shit!" I was like, "Oh crap!" And my spirit says, "Turn around and face your back to him, because they might read your mind." So I turned
Wow.
around, and after that, I turned back, and they had two of them I saw. The rest of them must have moved. And I bowed down like Japanese do, like, greeting them. And one dude said, "Hey, should we bow down to him too?" Another dude says, "I'm not bowing down to him." And it's like, "Okay, motherfucker, fuck you." I'm sorry. Uh, and I got on my motorbike and I left. And I didn't see the demons until I got on my motorbike and I was going north of Sacramento. This happened around Sacramento, California. And I saw them demons eyeballing me. And I said, "Oh shit." There was a whole line of them, red demons. And I pulled off, went across the highway, on the overpass, and I hid my motorbike up in the bushes, and I stayed there for the night until, they might fucking leave, hopefully, you know. But that's when I really saw the demons and the reptilians, the spirit ones.
So how common do you think that demon and reptilians are? Do we pass them every day on the streets, or are there only a few thousand of them in the world? Are they everywhere, or are they rare?
Well, they're doing a breeding project though, and what I think they're doing is these women have came forward and said that these aliens took them, reptilian aliens, and they turned them into reptilians. They laid their hands on them or just turned them into reptilians. And what they're doing, they're interbreeding humans with reptilians, and reptilians are really strong. I mean, they're big, giant. They're pretty big too. And the thing is, what religion is, if they fool you, the human race, in believing that you're gonna worship say any god you want, they want, they got you, they could rule over you because they got your food, pretty much. So the religion thing is the metric.
And the Matrix is the Matrix, right? Like the movie The Matrix is the same as the
Yeah,
Matrix. Yes, the
yeah.
Matrix, the
I
Matrix,
say
the
it, I
monsters,
say it
monsters.
differently.
I know, but just
The
for
way
the audience who isn't familiar with you, I'm just trying to clarify if they're confused that Matrix is Matrix, Monsters is Monsters, and Notre Dame is Nostradamus. But
yeah,
this has been an amazing interview, my Cobra friend. I think we've
Nostradamus.
covered, this might be my favorite interview I've done with you, to be honest. This is actually our 7th upload with Mr. OpenEye. It's also my first interview ever talking snake, and I think probably one of the best interviews with a talking snake ever done in the history of the human race. So thank you very much. It was also only our second recorded video podcast. I think this is a good time to wrap it up. Do you have a closing message for the people listening to this on YouTube?
Well, don't you want to talk about some of the conspiracy things? Because I did a lot of research on that.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah, absolutely. What did you want to get into?
Well, I don't know, Area 51. Then you got. I was in Salt Lake City, and I saw a big giant spaceship. It's like a mothership. It was huge. It was going inside the Salt Lake. It was landing inside the Earth. Okay. And the weird thing is, the reason why I know it was that big was I saw a little small flying saucer next to it. So I knew, it was huge. I mean, it was Battlestar Galactica stuff, And you know how they got Area 51? You understand, it starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got 50 areas that's underground that aliens live at in America. Okay, up to 50. Now we know about Area 51, but I don't know. I can't give you a number about how many they are. Because I don't know. But we made a treaty with them, with the aliens, so we get technology, and they've been abducting humans. And they made a treaty, and the bad thing is they're waiting for these people to die because they don't want to tell the world, they don't want to tell Americans that, hey, we made an agreement with a fucking devil, alien race, to abduct y'all, because we'll probably kill the motherfuckers that did it. That's why they're waiting and they're not telling people the truth about that. Okay. I mean, they made a deal for technology, but the thing is, I think the Russians made deals with the fucking aliens too. So, or even the Chinese, we don't know. Because look at the Chinese technology grew so fast. They've been stealing our technology too. But, I mean, you might have different alien factions. You know, like I went to Lake Michigan and I saw, what was it, praying mantis aliens. And they were like 15 foot tall. And if you ever seen a praying mantis, dude, if you fight that thing, they know karate, bruh. I mean, they will kick your fucking ass. I mean, really. And the damn thing is 15 foot tall. You know? A praying mantis, dude. If you ever watch some videos with praying mantises, what they can do, oh, man. I mean, and there were two of them.
Absolutely. I love praying mantises and mantis kung fu. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You got to see the mantis aliens, and I'm glad you got into that Area 51 aspect and the aliens as well. So you've covered all the bases today. Moon Wizard, Evil
That
Planet
was a
Moon.
great spot.
Sorry? What was that, buddy?
Well, that was another spot besides, and I've been abducted by aliens. I mean, another one I saw was when I was back home in Louisiana. They had these werewolf people. They were in a spaceship. They were inside the building. Okay. I woke up and I saw this big human being, and he was like very muscular, and he had hair all over his body, like a Sasquatch person. But I could tell his image was a white person. You know, it wasn't like an African ape or nothing. And he got into the spaceship. They had two seats, and one of them was already sitting in the seat. He got into the seat. It was like a carnival ride, seat belt. You know, it's big, thick, about it was about maybe 2 inches thick, but it was like 1 foot in diameter, went around his stomach, and he locked himself in the spaceship. And I saw these some glowing people, like very tall. They had hazmat suits on, and they were behind him. You know, they were behind the two werewolf people. The reason why I call them werewolf because their hairs were short. I mean, if you cut your hair like humans do, their hair grows long. But when these people, they don't ever cut their hair. They just let their hair grow naturally. So it's kind of like that Mexican dude. He's got all that hair around his face and stuff, and they say they're very super strong. I think what the aliens did is we used to be a lot of hairy people like that, and they changed our DNA because we were so strong. We were so powerful, you know, being hairy like that. I mean, look at the gorillas, how strong they are. Look at the orangutans. Look at the bear, how strong they are. Look how strong the wolf, anything that has hair. They're living in the wild, too. You know how strong they are compared to humans?
Mm-hmm.
We're
Absolutely.
weak.
You're correct. So listen, OpenEyeProject, like I said, this has been an awesome podcast. We covered a lot of ground here, and this is our 7th podcast. In the past, we've talked about burning away the darkness with cotton, the power of garlic baptisms, the Holy Sepulchre, the OpenEyeProject, the war against the moon, salt and light. That was a good one. And now we have spoken about, interview with a cobra, and we really covered everything. So I want to thank you again. This is an awesome interview. You know, you can always do another one anytime you want. I always love these episodes. I think there's a lot of good information in here and a lot of fascinating perspectives that nobody is ever going to hear anywhere else. So thank you. Do you have a closing sentiment or a closing message for the audience before we wrap up for the day?
Yeah. Well, I want to tell people I'm suffering every day. They attack my body. They call me the quantum entanglement person because I could change. I could open stargates. I could anything. I could speak out loud to. I could create. I don't know. If I say something, it happens. Okay. in this metric, when I deprogrammed myself with religion, I didn't see all these things until the if you want to call it the creator or God or whatever they are, they didn't give me these powers until I deprogrammed myself, okay? Until I got out of the religion, got out of the church, went out into nature. I've been doing field research for 14 years now. This ain't no 40 days, 40 nights bullshit, okay? I've been out here in the wilderness for 14 years and I've been learning a lot of stuff. I probably know more than all the Catholic priests, okay, put together. Yeah. I've probably seen more.
I would
and
agree.
The thing is, the Catholic Church is keeping something quiet. They are being attacked too, but they're keeping it quiet. Okay. These I'm not joking. I actually talked to a Catholic priest. He said he was getting attacked, and I talked to another one, and I was a psychic, and I could talk to him on the phone and says, "Hey, one of these Catholic priests told me y'all getting attacked too." Oh no, not me. You know, I never heard of none of us getting attacked, and I could tell he was lying. You could tell somebody when they're lying. They're trying to keep it secret. You know.
Okay. So,
Like
I have a
CIA
proposal.
does,
Since you have so much material, so much content, so much experience that you want to share, would you be interested in doing a weekly podcast where we just choose a particular day of the week and a particular time? Like, wait, what is it today? Today is Saturday. So Saturday at 9. And you just do a weekly episode where you can come on interview with a snake series?
I don't know. I got so much material, Shogun. I don't like to do no repeating. I mean, this conspiracy theorist. I could have went more. We could have do a lot more in this conspiracy.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why we can do more episodes once a week. We'll make it a weekly show. That would be awesome, and that way you can get out new information every week.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that later. I think it's a good idea. I enjoyed this interview. Thanks very much for your time and for sharing all of your experience. We appreciate what you're doing out there in the world. Keep yourself safe, and we will have you in again to update us with what else you've learned and what else you've seen out there in the wilderness. As for myself, I think it is time to wrap this up, and then we will jump to the pub, or I guess we're already in the video chat. So thanks very much for joining us, live audience, and everybody on the YouTube live channel. Make sure you check out the YouTube live channel. We will be streaming live on Twitch in the future, and we are also on YouTube and BitChute with hundreds of audio episodes and tons of new video episodes to come. So thanks a lot, and God bless. Good night, OpenEye.